At number 10 we have I'm the Great Immortal. The protagonist, Lee Tae-suin, was a peerless genius in the world of cultivation. But unfortunately, he gets killed by 3 celestial beings and regresses back to when he was still immortal. Now, equipped with the knowledge of his past life, he swears to take revenge on the 3 celestial beings and on the people that ruined his life before he became an immortal. At number 9 we have Back to Earth. Yi Tian was a celestial being who failed to become a real immortal and was regressed back to Earth equipped with his most valuable treasure. Now with the godly cultivation method of his past life, he gets strong quickly and vows to make the people that destroyed his previous life pay in blood. At number 8 we have Immortal Emperor Luo Wuji has returned. The Supreme Emperor Luo Wuji gets betrayed and killed due to a scheme of his disciple. But because of his immortal soul, he regressed back to when he was still a normal university student. Now, armed with years of knowledge and experience, he decides to take revenge on his disciple and the people who tormented him while he was still immortal. At number 7 we have Maxed Out Leveling. Cha Shin Haiyan gets transported to the world of Murim by an unknown being. After maxing out his martial arts level and becoming the strongest person of that world, he returns back to Earth and finds out that it's not the same planet he once knew. Now, Earth was under constant threat of the monsters that came out of dungeons, and to stop them a selected few humans had awakened as hunters. At number 6 we have Return of the Shattered Constellation. The protagonist, Lee Changxian, was a human who ascended to the position of a constellation and earned the name Twilight of the Gods. After becoming infamous as an evil being who kills other constellations, he goes through judgment and loses all of his divinity and powers. But he receives a second chance at life from the master of the nether world and gets regressed back to when he was still a rookie player. At number 5 we have the constellation that returned from hell. Choi Yuseong was a C-rank hunter who was obsessed with training and martial arts. One day, his dream of becoming strong was about to be fulfilled when he was selected to become the underling of a constellation. But something goes wrong, and he gets stuck in the abyss, a place which was considered impossible to get out from. Now, in order to return to Earth, he starts training himself and after many years becomes the first human to ever become a constellation. At number 4 we have Seoul Station Druid. During an unknown catastrophe, the protagonist, Park Sohu, gets transported to a different world full of unknown creatures and monsters. He eventually adapts to his surroundings and learns to fight for his survival. Many years later, he returns back to Earth through a mysterious portal, but quickly learns that the people of Earth are in a constant battle with the monsters of different realms. At number 3 we have Seoul Station's Necromancer. The protagonist Kang Woojin gets forcibly summoned to a fantasy world filled with monsters and supernatural beings. After becoming the strongest necromancer of that world, he returns to Earth 20 years later only to find that Earth had been invaded by monsters and a minority of people had awakened supernatural powers in order to fight against them. Now, armed with his 20 years worth of knowledge and experience, he once again walks on the path of becoming the strongest necromancer. At number 2 we have My Dad is Too Strong. Lee Da-jun was a talentless civil servant who was unable to awaken as a hunter. One day, he gets hit by a truck and transmigrates to the world of Murim. After 10 years, he becomes the strongest and most fearful person of that world and later manages to return to Earth. But now, despite being insanely strong, he decides to live a peaceful life with his daughter as his life in Murim was full of battles and bloodshed. At number 1 we have The Descent of the Demonic Master. After losing his legs on a tragic accident, Gang Jinho decides to end his own life, but instead gets transmigrated to the world of Murim. After becoming the strongest and earning fame as the Red Demonic Master, he gets betrayed by his closest friend and returns back to his previous life right after the accident took place. Now, with the knowledge of his past life, he quickly cures himself and decides to live a peaceful life, but little did he know that his transmigration isn't as simple as it seemed.